We went into the season, it's just us. 2025, how we do this season is going to depend on how we do as a group, how tight we get, as a family. And I said we're going to go underwater for a while and work on us, and then we'll come up, in August and start playing some football.
From day one, Coach Matt came in and preached family, and just, both he and I played for Coach T, and that was always a big thing. And it has been every year, over the years, and just, part of this program, part of this culture.
You don't ever have to worry about, man, this guy's not doing his part, or he's not trying hard enough. When you have that unwavering belief, you have zero doubt that whatever problems are on one side of the ball or the other, or whatever mistake that somebody made, that they'll fix it and they'll do whatever they can, and just have that belief. Trust and belief are two things that go a long way. It's the it factor, which we talk about, which is integrity and trust. It's who you are. To be here and your family, you kind of are stuck with. Who you recruit around you in this locker room is family, but we've become such a tight-knit group that it means a lot, and we all make sacrifices, for this club, for this university, and the university makes sacrifice for us. Everybody in the family always makes sacrifice for one another.
The way our guys stuck together this year, there's a lot of adversity, in the off season and things like that, but the guys that stuck with the program and stuck it out, and did a phenomenal job of keeping that brotherhood, together. Trying to get our guys to play for the guy next to you rather than yourself, and that's always been what we preached here since I can remember.
We do all the bonding and everything together as a team, throughout, and just make sure that at the end of every practice, we come together and, we're hugging everybody. At the beginning of every meeting, we're hugging everybody and touching everybody, because we're all we got, and it's really all we need.
Well, Family Day's always been a big deal here, ever since I could remember, playing back here, and it was always a big weekend, just getting everybody's, not just the players, but the entire campus, all families coming to the game and everything like that. Always a great crowd.
Family Day here at Northwest, really means a lot, not just to, the players and coaches, but like everyone, the families of the players, especially with Boswick being my coach. It means something more to me and to us, just playing for him on that day, for what he's been through, and playing for his brother as well. And it's just great to be out there, playing for something bigger than yourself.
Just recently, after Scott passed, and it was just a weekend for our football program to kind of commemorate him and remember him. And you see the red hats, our kids wear the red tape, the red socks, all those red things that we have that. In honor of him, because the red hat he wore here, and just it's pretty neat, to see that all these years have passed and there's still his legacy's living on, and our kids, it's a lot of fun to see them, kind of honor him. Flashback to, I believe it was 1996 or 97. Northwest had a game up in Wayne State, Nebraska, and he used to wear just a normal Northwest hat, whatever, and back in those days, there weren't any cordless headsets. They were all, you had to plug into an electrical thing on the sideline, and and so they always had somebody holding the cords for them. So it was myself and my nephew Ryan. We were holding the coach's cords. I was on Coach Tatum's. He was on my brother Scott's, and the guys were complaining that they couldn't see the signals on the sideline, and he got fired up about that, and just looked at my nephew Ryan. He had a red Nike hat on, and he took his hat off, put it on his head, took Ryan's hat, put it on him. He goes, "Can you guys see me now?" And ever since then, it just kind of stuck and kind of took on a life of its own. And every time everybody saw Scott, it was in the red hat. It was always symbolic. After Scott passed and Coach Wright was the defensive coordinator, he wanted to keep that going as well, and so he took on the role of wearing the red hat. And this off season, when spring, right before the spring game, after our last practice for the spring game, I didn't know if I was going to do it or not. And then Coach Mack after practice gave me the red hat, said you deserve to wear this, and it was pretty cool, pretty special, and a lot of emotions came back, at that time, and just thoughts and thinking about him and the impact and that he had on me, and to see that I'm in the role that he once was here was pretty awesome.
Whenever Mac handed him the red hat, I think a lot of us were really happy for him, really proud of where he's at right now. And no one more deserving than he is.
It meant the world to me. When he got here back in 1994 with Coach T and their first staff, and seeing how they built the program from the ground up, going 0-11 their first year, making the playoffs and winning the first playoff game in Northwest history in, I believe, 1996, and then just the program just taking off from then, and just seeing what it is, what they built, and what it's become. And just, getting the opportunity to be in that role that he was in here for so many years, and the impact that he had on so many guys, myself, a lot of guys I played with, guys before me, guys after me. That's pretty special. And just the kind of take on a sense of responsibility in that regard, just hoping I could be an impact on these guys, not just football-wise, but in life. And because that's what he was, and it's pretty special to be in that role, and don't take that for granted at all, and love the challenge of being able to do that.
Now we're here on Family Day, and it means a lot.
The UCO game, it was the most important game because it was the next one, is what we like to preach around here. We don't make it too big, too small. It's the next game. We're looking for a win, trying to go 1-0.
We knew that was one that we had circled on the schedule just because we went down there last year and they got after us. The guys that were on that field kind of remember that feeling, of leaving that field and just thinking we could have done a lot better than what we had shown. So our guys were very focused all week, on the game plan with those guys. Very talented team.
They have the best back in the league, returning top offense, and their defense has been really, really good. They hit the portal really hard, so they had a lot of talent. And sometimes that talent just dominated people, but sometimes that talent got in the wrong spots at the wrong time. And so it's been, it's for us as an offense was just say, okay, we've got to keep beating that door, and eventually it'll open. We'll find some nooks, some holes in the defense, or they'll make a mistake, and we can take advantage of, because they were very, very talented, physically talented, and they played a lot of people, so we knew it would be a little bit tougher on offense. And then, from a defense perspective, their quarterback, had gotten hurt 2 weeks earlier, and it's football. You got to prep for injuries and go. And so they had a redshirt freshman that came in and led them to a win, and has been playing really well. And so, although it's not the same type of talent, I think that's still a good offense. Just like we have 2 quarterbacks that play, and if our backup's got to go into play, we expect him to do a great job as well. And they have a great supporting cast. So. We don't really feel sorry for him, or didn't think it was going to affect him. We expected him to play another great game. AD is, he needs to have, his shrine somewhere, because he's a great coach here, and just he was a phenomenal football player here, phenomenal assistant coach, and then a great head coach, where they won national championships and really took, Northwest to a whole nother level, and so he's reverent around here. I think the world of him and think very highly, of him. And so, that doesn't change. He's still a Bearcat, and that's there. But, understand that Bearcat, that's in him, when we play him, he's not a Bearcat anymore. He's Bronco. Family is important. He's part of our family, always will be. But that family member is wearing a different logo. And I'll root for him every other week of the year and wish him the best. But, you come to our turf, on our home field, we're not going to let you win.
Back out of Bearcat Stadium, family weekend for Northwest Missouri State as the Cats hosting the 15th ranked UCO Broncos.
Matt, this should be a heck of a game coming up.
It's always big, an MIAA matchup, family weekend, just the emotions of everything going into a ball game like this. But then you figure it is Central Oklahoma. It is the defending MIAA champion. If the Bearcats were able to come out, establish themselves early on, and really hit the Broncos in the mouth and come away with a victory today, that would kind of be a resounding message to the MIAA and to the nation as a whole that, hey, Northwest Missouri State football's back. John McMiniman, 4 games into his coaching career as a Bearcat, a former quarterback, and then, of course, Adam Doyle, who played offensive line with Northwest Missouri State, and then went on to win quite a few championships in his own right, leading this program. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's family weekend. The family ties again. They go down to this football field and beyond.
Yeah, it should be a great crowd for today's game. As always, the family weekend, one of the bigger crowds that you'll have, but really probably second to a homecoming, and sometimes it can be as big a weekend as homecoming is. So fans should be treated to what should be a very good game this afternoon.
Again, and what those black jerseys mean, they always said that was Scott Bostwick's last gift to this football program before his untimely passing. And so to see those black jerseys, the red paws, that's awfully special, and I don't think these Bearcats would trade it at all.
And here comes a kick, a high end-over-end kick. So UCO taking over 1st and 10 from their 7-yard line, ball off the left hash. They go with a quick handoff left side, not much there. Goes out right side of the numbers to the 10 and tripped up at the 11-yard line by Jenkins Jr. once again. And he takes the snap, wants to dish it out the backfield left side. He was immediately brought down by Parker Bowen coming in from the linebacker position. Northwest to take over. Rocky quick pass on a slant pattern. It is caught between the hashes. No one open downfield, so he'll run with it to the 40, sideline to the 45, and out of bounds at midfield. And on the keeper this time, Rucky, a lot of room. He's off that left hash to the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown Northwest.
Boy, the parting of the Red Seas, that one was a heck of a run by the Platte City native.
But Matthews gets a carry, bumps out left to the numbers to the 10, to the 5, stutter step, spins, and gets close to the goal line. He's in, touchdown Central Oklahoma. So we're all tied at 7, 3:13 left in the first quarter.
The defenses have ruled so far. Northwest Missouri State sitting at 124 total yards in this football game. Central Oklahoma at 106. It's 7-7 here as we get late in this first half. So the defenses have ruled so far. Who's going to come up with that big play to break one?
Fired a punt away from his goal line, and line drive end over in punt, fielded by Myers left side to the 45. Nice hold to the 35, 30 right sideline, 25, 20. Outside the number to the 15 and out of bounds.
But that was a huge lane for Dominic Myers. He did not waste it. A great return.
2 to the right side, now the gun. Straight drop back for Rucky, wants to go deep, trying to strike into the end zone. Pass caught by Nash. Touchdown Northwest.
Second touchdown of his Northwest Missouri State career. That one comes in a very big spot for Erwin Nash. The Bearcat D gets the stop. The great return there by Dominic Myers, plus the penalty there to put the Bearcats in a good spot. And you like Coach McMiniman saying, you know what, we're going for the score right here. They get 6 right away.
We go to halftime with Northwest Missouri State in front of Central Oklahoma, 14-7. Third quarter we go, 14-7. Northwest Missouri State in front. Rocky to start at quarterback in this third quarter, goes on the right sideline, and Nash leaps up, brings it down in midfield and out of bounds. And a handoff goes to Porter, sweeps out right side of the numbers to the 40-yard line, tripped up as he falls forward to about the 39. Straight drop back. Pass time. Looking downfield, pass is caught. Nash with the reception, left hash to the 25, sideline to the 20, to the 15, and out of bounds. And we'll give it to Porter. And he goes off tackle to the right side. He rolls his way. He is into the end zone. Touchdown Northwest. 20-7 with 12:29 left in the third quarter. Carry off the left side goes to Roy Mason. Quick handoff right side, big hole opens up for Matthews. He's tripped up as he gets into Northwest territory. Now they run up the middle with the snap. It goes to the quarterback, Creasy. He got to the line of scrimmage where that hole was quickly closed by Clayton Power. Off the right hash, Rucky back to pass. Pump fakes once, now fires that in between the hashes. Pass is caught, left side to the 40.
Great pass, great catch, great protection for that offensive line. Chris Rucky had all day to throw that one.
Play action, Rucky straight drop. Surveys his receivers and finds off that right side. Pass reception, Morris again to the 10, the 5 toward the pylon, and it looks like he will step out of bounds about the 4-yard line. Will give, handoff sweeping out right side, untouched into the end zone. Touchdown Northwest as Quincy Torrey has the touchdown. 3:19 left, third quarter. Northwest Missouri State 28, Central Oklahoma 10, and the running back will take the snap in. Matthews looks to go off the right side of their offensive line, but he runs into Parker Bowen coming in from the linebacker spot. Rolls right side on the run, looks to throw, and it's batted away and goes incomplete off that far sideline. So we go to the fourth quarter, fourth down coming up, 4th and 2, and it looks like Central Oklahoma will be stuffed off that handoff.
Boy, Nile was in the backfield in a hurry. Big time stop for this Northwest defense, up by 18 points just as this fourth quarter gets underway. Huge stop there for the defense of Nile Shut.
1st and 10 for Northwest from their 30-yard line, leading 28-10. Play action, straight drop back. Looks to dump it out the left side. Caught on that left sideline. Down the sideline to midfield. To the 35, to the 30. Miller to the 20, to the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Northwest. 68 yards and a touchdown for the Bearcats. They had Miller lining up as a single tailback to swing out the left side. And he was wide open. 3 receivers go wide to the right side. Creasy straight drop. Fires it left side, and it's batted away and picked up. Picked off for Northwest. Parker Bowen with the interception. Right hash to the 20, to the 30-yard line. It slides to a halt at the 34-yard line. as that ball was just tipped right into his hands, and Bowen coming up with his second interception of the season.
Kind of the exclamation point on this one as the Bearcats in front comfortably.
Again, Northwest Missouri State with the win, 38-16, as they defeat Central Oklahoma. Northwest improves to 4-1 on the year.
That was a big-time win today for Northwest Missouri State. We've talked about the Bearcats on the up and up, a program on the rise. They will stub their toe. There will be setbacks. There will be issues along the way. But to this point, you're seeing this team find ways to overcome some of that within games. And boy, that was a big-time win here at home today.
It was just awesome. Obviously coming in, it was a big game we knew, and so to go out and perform the way we did and see all the preparation just come into place was super fun. And then obviously Family Day, a lot of people here, makes it even better.
That was the top rushing offense in the country, in the conference, and that had kind of been the bar. Well, then we outrushed them, and our physicality kind of took over as the game, went on. And we had some more big plays that, came in that second half where we kind of played really good complementary football.
And our guys did a really good job of making big plays during that game. There was a big fourth down stop by, I believe, Niall and Carter that we had. That was a huge point. A couple big turnovers. And offensively, our guys did a great job of capitalizing on, getting good field position and making big plays and big runs in that game too.
It was just all of us working together as one. It wasn't anyone doing anything special. It was just everyone doing their job.
When we play complementary football and we're executing at a high rate, like in the second half, our execution on offense and defense was very high, and we ran away with the game. First half, I thought the defense executed high and the offense didn't, and they kept us in it. But that won't always be the case. I hope it is, but I think it was great for our defense to start seeing that they can be dominant.
Yeah, I felt great just because I knew what that team was offensively, and just very proud that our guys were able to, see the work that they put in up to that point in the season, and see good things come from that. The hard work and the practice and the film hours and all that stuff that those guys do on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, come to fruition there. And just to be able to do that against a quality opponent on Family Day was very special.
Just ecstatic for Family Day to come out and play the way we did, and for these kids to understand, how much more powerful they are when they believe in one another. They don't point fingers, and they're a solution-based squad that looks to find answers as opposed to point fingers. They beat a ranked team, at home on Family Day with distractions. Like, okay, this is a step in the right direction. This is what we got to do to change our reputation. How we're viewed is we've got to beat whoever's in front of us, and if they're ranked higher than us, then that's why they play the football game. And to do it in the fashion that they did, I think gave me even more confidence and leads into the next week of playing another great Central Missouri team and just saying, okay, well, this is gonna be another top tier program that we're gonna have to play and find a way to beat. We're going into a second week where it's kind of a personal game. Last week was taxing in itself, as it's a former coach and a guy that was up for the job here, as well, when we got it, when our staff got it. And so I know our guys wanted to win that game in the worst case for us, and now we're going into another game that has another personal impact on, not only are we tied for the top of the conference right now, the Mules and the Bearcats, but Coach Wright, is a defensive coordinator for the Mules. Well, Coach Wright, recruited almost all these guys, has been here many years, and it's been a pivotal part of all their national championships, and is another coach that has just impacted Northwest in many great ways. It adds to the exhaustion level of our guys mentally and physically. Is okay, we got to go play our former coach. We want to beat him, and or how do you react? And then there's players that left our team and went to that team, and so it was our job as a staff to say, again, all that's it's great for the media, it's great for the outside world. What matters right now is the Bearcats, is us.
Yeah, the big message that week was it wasn't our defense against Coach Wright. It was us against UCM. And Coach Wright just happened to be there. As the coach, defensive coordinator there, and that wasn't the focus of that week. It was going up against an explosive offense and trying to figure out a way to slow those guys down.
Like, let's go practice on Monday and let's worry about us and get through the week and play a game, and then when the game's over, that's still the guy that recruited you. It's still a great human being. It's still our friends. They're still our teammates. Everything leading up to that point is, that's the enemy right now. And they're going to try and knock us off and beat us. And so, again, we're playing for each other, not playing to beat somebody else. UCM's offense is always good, and they lost their Harlan Hill candidate quarterback, from the year before, who broke every record. And so they have the same offense coming back. They have a new offensive coordinator that was their quarterback's coach last year, and Hayden Hawk. And so, there's a lot of personal touches there. Lamberson's a former Bearcat, and he's an offensive mind. Hayden Hawk, I coached when we were there. Joe Holtzclaw is their line coach. He played here, he was a lineman here, and then obviously Coach Wright on defense. So tons of familiarity.
Everybody in this league knows what we're going to be in our base defense of what we're going to do, and obviously Coach Wright runs a similar defense there at UCM, and those guys go up against that every day. And so the challenge is just trying to find different things, different wrinkles each week that you can do that are new, for other teams as far as looks, but simple for us to, execute as well. So, you're always trying to change up a little bit, but not make it so difficult that our guys can't execute what we're trying to do.
But their offense is just as electric. It's very exciting. They push the ball down the field. It's a redshirt freshman quarterback. So we faced a few of those this year, but it's going to be about hitting the quarterback, getting to him, making him uncomfortable. Because when that guy is comfortable, he's really good. They really probably should have beat Pueblo, who's number 5 in the country. They lost to him by 1, but it was their game to take, and kind of just didn't take care of the ball. So they'll be potent, and then the defense is just what we practice against every day. Coach Wright's kept it the exact same, and it wasn't a broken formula, so he's building it the same way. Now I think we know what to do against it. Whether or not we execute it, is another thing, but I know how we want to attack it and get after it, and our kids do too, and it should be something that we're really confident going into the game, saying we know how we're going to line up and play. The bad thing is they know how we're going to line up and play too, so it's they know what our talent is. So it's kind of just you cut them loose and just say, let's go play the game, and after the game we'll let all those other storylines play out, but let's put ourselves in as good a spot as we can to win this.
Back out at Walton Stadium here in Warrensburg, Northwest Missouri State meeting up with UCM, the last 2 unbeatens in conference play. This is one of those places, every time we go to Warrensburg, the folks are friendly, we have a good time, but to see so many familiar faces as well. Of course, Coach Wright, now the defensive coordinator here in Warrensburg with Central Missouri.
Everybody asks me, what's the difference in this Mules team? 2 words, Rich Wright. I mean, that's it. Because the Mules now do not have to score 45 points to win a game.
Northwest, number 2 in the MIAA in scoring at 31 points per game. They're also number 1 in rushing. Central Missouri at 35.6 points per contest. That's number 1 in the MIAA. They are number 1 in the league, averaging 493 yards per game. That's also 2nd nationally. They are doing a really good job of racking up yards, racking up points. It's becoming because of a young man at quarterback that has really blossomed these last couple of weeks.
Hey, let's go. Hey, there's one way to play. Let them know where we are. Let them know what our family's about. Here we go.
Why we play this game, it's fun to have big games, and this is a big game, so our kids are definitely going to be amped up, ready to go, and we're all ready to just go out and see how we fare against the Mules.
Kids are so bought in right now to what we're doing. They go out there every week, and they just want to perform for the guy next to them.
Now we're about the halfway point, and like we always said, it's like, okay, now it's time to go win some games. Previously, the previous games, you kind of can lose them or make a lot of mistakes, and I don't see the Mules making a lot of mistakes. We're going to have to take advantage of when we do have those open opportunities to score and keep being opportunistic. And our kids are ready. I think the game plan's great. So now we're kind of at the point of let's go out and execute and see where the chips fall.
I'll tell you this, Matt. At 5 o'clock on Saturday night, somebody's going to be 4-0 and in first place in the MIAA.
Touchdown Mules. Hogan Wasson comes up with a reception. He was left wide open at the 5-yard line near the left hash. 14-0 to score.
This is the first game. We went down 14-0 to start, and it's the first time we've really been behind since Mankato. So, you never really want to be in it. It was exciting for me to see, okay, how are we going to respond to this whole, because all week you say, man, we're going to go and play a great game. We're going to score all these points. We're going to shut them down. And it's going to be a beautiful game. It's just part of how you build a mental philosophy. And then you go in there and it's the exact opposite. It's 14-0 at home. They're going crazy. It's a red out. and we're stuck there like, okay, this isn't what we thought. But that was the first time that I've ever really, like, I felt like, okay, this team's really where we need to be, because the defense, didn't falter at all. The offense, it was 7-0, and then we have a bad interception. Give it to them in short yardage, they score, and it's 14-0. There's no finger point. There's nothing. The defense came off the field, and they're like, it's my bad. Because they gave up a short yardage touchdown when that's on the offense. And that gave me some hope. You can panic. You can be like, what the heck? We should have done this. Instead of, they just came on. It's like, hey, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Take care of the ball, and play Bearcat football, and we'll see what happens.
Central Missouri with the lead over the Bearcats. 3:55 left in the first quarter. Snap comes back. Going on the right side is Zachariah Owens in the game at quarterback now as he sweeps out right. Back to pass. Owens looks on the left sideline, and it is Convert in short. Miller again gets the carry, breaks loose left side at the 35, and brought down. That time he's able to squeeze his way through a small hole at the line of scrimmage and pick up the first down. Back to pass. Owens sets up. Has time, looks, throws, wide open as Matthews at the 10-yard line, right sideline to the 5, and knocked out of bounds near the pylon. It's in, touchdown Northwest.
Now, offensive coordinator Colin Prosser, head coach John McMiniman, they know what they're doing. They drew up a fantastic play, and that one goes for 6, and the Bearcats are on the board.
Two receivers to each side on 3rd and 5. Back to Passamola. Here comes pressure, and the pass is not going incomplete across the middle at the 34-yard line. Shade Frederickson knocks the pass away. Rucky takes the snap, straight drop back. Looks at the left half, pass is caught. Matthews with the catch, races past the 30. Handoff goes to Porter, sweeps out right side to the 15, down to the 10-yard line. This will be 1st and goal coming up for Northwest. Bad big call coming up here. 4th and goal just inside the 1-yard line for Northwest. Wants to keep it himself, leans forward, backs in toward the end zone. Does he get in? Yes, touchdown Northwest.
Coach McMiniman saying if we're going to be able to be who we want to be, if we're going to play bully ball, we got to sit there and say we can punch it in from 1 yard out. And that time the Bearcats did just that.
Goes about 3 yards deeper in the end zone off the right side. It'll be taken out to the 5, off the right side to the 10, 15, and out near the 20 to the 21-yard line or so where the Mules will have it. And it looks like the ball may be coming up loose at the end of that play, and the Bearcats act like they've recovered the ball.
Boy, how this game has flipped, John Coffey. After a slow start and getting down 14-0, they are 21 yards away from taking their first lead of the day.
Owens trying to get some blocking, goes forward, he's in, touchdown Northwest.
He was patient, he surveyed it, he found the opening, lowered his shoulder, ended up finding a few extra that he needed.
Good job, baby! Good job! Keep going, boys! Keep going!
They lead Central Missouri 21-14. Play action down the middle of the field, pass and knocked away and incomplete. Off of the snap, it's picked up by Amola, but he'll be sacked that time by Jordan Pegram coming in on the play. As that pocket collapses, forced to run it up the middle, and he'll be brought down right back at the line of scrimmage. That's the end of the first half, and it's a 21-17 game. Northwest Missouri State still with the lead as the team's going to the locker room at halftime. Tell you what, man, if the first half's any indication of what we're going to see in the second half, it should be a fun finish to this game.
Both teams are kind of playing like they've got an edge and they're on a mission to come out and win that hardware and punch their ticket to the playoffs this season.
We've got a lot of football left to be played. As Owens hands off to Torrey, sweeps out left side to the hash to the midfield, breaks loose at the 40, to the 30, to the 25, the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Northwest.
55 yards for Torrey, and how about that for Northwest? Needing something here to kind of break this one open early in the third quarter, and he got just that. If the Cats get a stop and open up a 35-17 lead, you feel like that's kind of the nail in the coffin, but we'll kind of see what UCM has to respond.
And as the quarterback Amola with a quarterback run, he comes up short by a yard, bringing up 4th down. This time it was Carter Edwards to stack up the play for the Bearcat. Amola back to pass. Steps up, flushed out of the pocket, runs to the 45-yard line, and the ball is on the turf loose. Let's see who comes up with it at the 47.
A lot of white jerseys around. Feels like Northwest has it. And they do. Just not tucking that ball and keep it high and tight when he's running with it. Kind of kept it down in his hand low and loose. And the Bearcats punch it free.
Once hands off to Myers, sweeps out left side, cuts into the numbers to the 35-yard line to the 30. Has the first down, and then some. Nice job of running by Dominic Myers. Takes the handoff this time, cuts in at the 20 to the 15, the 10, and inside the 10, somersaults down to about the 7-yard line. And Owens wants to run up the middle, cuts into the 5, he's into the end zone, touchdown Northwest.
That was a thing of beauty. It's a 3rd and goal from the 8. 99% of everyone is going to call a pass play in that situation. Northwest calls the quarterback draw, and a nifty cut underneath one of those blocks by Owens. Walks into the end zone for his third score of the day.
35-17. Northwest Missouri State with the lead with 15 minutes left in this one.
Let them make a mistake, not us. You guys go play free and have fun for one another. Here we go. Hands up. Here we go.
Well, quarterback can run up the middle, cuts out between the hashes of the 25 to the 20, and goes out to the 15 to the 10. A little step arm movement out of bounds near the 7-yard line. Takes the snap. 3-step drop, lofts it toward the end zone left side, and Matthews wide open for the touchdown. Luke Matthews with his second touchdown reception of the afternoon.
The Bearcats have run the football well, but then you're having the best game of the season for the receiver, Luke Matthews.
Now on the sidelines, we can see it is all jumping up and down with the coaching staff and the players. The energy is so high down here on the Bearcat side.
Molo looks on a quick slant, pass tipped up in the air, and it flutters away incomplete off that right side. Brings up fourth down, and the Mules will go for it, trailing 42-25 with 8:52 left in the game. Molo will roll to the right side, pressured, and will be brought down for a big sack as Northwest blitzes again, and Carter Edwards, who's been in the backfield a lot this afternoon, comes up with a big sack. Here today, Northwest playing very well. Quarterback draw right up the middle, had the first down and then some. He's to the 20-yard line, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown Northwest.
What can you say about this performance today at Northwest Missouri State? The defense has been solid throughout. The offense has just kind of controlled it from the line of scrimmage on out, and they just have dominated Central Missouri in a battle of the unbeatens. Handshakes and hugs down there between a lot of guys that have a lot of history and know each other so well. This one clearly stings for those Mules down there, but what a special win for John McMiniman and company to come in here to Warrensburg and walk out here successful.
49-32, the final score. Northwest Missouri State posts the victory over Central Missouri.
Wanted that game again just because last couple of years, we came up short against those guys, and our guys did a phenomenal job just executing what we were trying to do. And I was trying to mix up calls and things like that, different looks, and try to not be one-dimensional, if you will. And our guys did a great job executing what we were trying to do.
Z Owens comes along and he starts changing the game a little bit and doing some things, and I saw our offense just kickstart, and we knew we had to lean on the line that game a lot. It was like, okay, we need to control the line of scrimmage. And as that game went along, it became we were the more physical team by far, very dominant, and really outrushed them. We had well over 200 yards, rushing. We had over 300 yards rushing, and that just doesn't happen often to a team coached by Coach Wright like that. But it's more a tribute to Coach Prosser and Coach Hoover and the O-line and the tight ends to get us in that spot. To do it. We ran one play 23 times because they never adjusted, and we just kept hitting it, and our guys just slowly started the game, slowly getting out of hand because we were the better team physically. I thought we were in better shape. Seeing us take that step, and you can just see our guys' confidence just grow and grow and grow, and then you sit atop the conference at the end of that game, and that's probably the last game where we're not going to have a target on our back. From here on out, it's we're going to be at the top of the conference, and we're going to get everybody's best shot. In years past, when you played Northwest Missouri State, not only were you playing the dominant team on the field, you're playing the mystique, the Bearcats. And I was on the other end of that a ton. When you play the Bearcats, you're playing 12, 13 guys, not just 11. That's kind of gone away, in the last few years. And that mystique's gone, that aura's gone, and now all of a sudden you're a beatable foe, and it's 11 on 11. And you don't have that, and so you go into every game where right now we're the underdog in a lot of these games. We're the team that can be beat now. Fortunately, we've been winning, enough, and now, we've gotten past Central Missouri, and you're at the top of the conference. Well, that, that we're sneaking up on you, or they still don't think we're what we are, that's gone. You know, everybody's going to be fully prepared for you in what we have. You're going to get everybody's best shot, you know, from here on out. What arguably was already going to be a tough, you know, segment of the season gets even harder. It's only going to get tougher, you know, from us from here, and we've got to embrace that. That's a spot you want to be in. We're trying to get that mystique and that aura back where not only do opponents, you know, think it's uphill coming to play the Bearcats, but also our team believes, you know, like, hey, we're the Bearcats. We've got a chance to win every game we step the field, and we should win. And this is what we're supposed to look like. This is how we're going to play, and this is what your expectations should be when you play us. And we're working on getting there.